please consider contributing to the Trilby Reviews and Film Brits Patreon for just $1 a month to get exclusive access, early downloads, and also names in the credits. Links will be provided in the description below, as well as sources for the news story. Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Trilby, and today I'm here to talk to you about the Justice League DC Warner Brothers home media release. There have been talks in the fan community about the movie getting some sort of Zack Snyder director's cut on DVD and Blu-ray, with a Change.org petition actually getting around 168,000 signatures and counting, and people have been wondering that since Zack Snyder had to leave the directing duties of Justice League to Joss Whedon after a terrible family tragedy, whether or not we would get his original version, his original take on the film, which is clearly got to be more superior than the dross that Joss Whedon put out. I'm not saying the film is dross, that is just the narrative that is purveying this entire movie. I personally thought the movie was absolutely middle of the road average, and I really have no inclination to see it again. But could I be swayed with a director's cut or a Zack Snyder version on home media? I could be. I mean, I watched the Batman v Superman Ultimate Cut, and that was just 30 minutes or 40 minutes of extra equally horrible material. And then when David Ayer announced when Suicide Squad was in theaters, saying it would absolutely not get an extended cut, the film is my cut, the Suicide Squad movie is the director's cut, and then 4 or 5 months later we get an extended director's cut on DVD and Blu-ray, which was kind of rubbing salt into the wound. And then you have Wonder Woman, which comes out normal because people liked it and the film was really good. So we have the details for the Justice League 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray and Blu-ray 3D combo pack, which contains one deleted scene. And that is it. Well, there are obviously many features attached to this home media release. You've got a Road to Justice featurette, Heart of Justice, Technology of the Justice League The New Heroes, Steppenwolf the Conqueror, that's probably a 20-second featurette, Scene Studies Revisiting the Amazons, Scene Studies Wonder Woman's Rescue, Scene Studies Heroes Park, Scene Studies The Tunnel Battle, Suit Up, The Look of the Justice League, and you have a deleted scene called The Return of Superman, a bonus scene not seen in theatres according to the Blu-ray 4K description. I'm looking at the UK release of the Justice League, specifically the HMV exclusive limited edition steelbook, and that has the exact same amount of special features, including that singular deleted scene. The DVD and other variants of the Justice League home media release will have varying degrees of special features attached to them in the physical copy, but it seems the 4K HD Blu-ray and Blu-ray 3D combo pack will be the definitive version of the home media release, at least right now. So we are not going to be getting a Zack Snyder cut, and I am very sorry to tell you this, folks, but water is also wet. I understand in principle, in a way, wanting a Zack Snyder cut, but here's the thing you need to realise, folks: there was no Zack Snyder cut. You cannot release what never actually existed in the first place. The Zack Snyder had basically a very rough assembly cut presented to Warner Brothers with very few special effects, very rough, non-colour corrected and very poorly edited sequences, which were, and that's not a slight on Zack Snyder, that is a rough cut. You have a 4 to 4.5 hour movie that you present to the studio saying, this is all the footage we have, this is our rough assembly cut, and then Zack Snyder had to leave due to his personal circumstances, and then Joss Whedon had to take that rough assembly cut, reshoot some more footage, add $100 million extra to the budget in order to get all these reshoots done and all the scheduling done, and then what we have is now a 2-hour Justice League movie, and it was allegedly meant to be 2 hours long because the folks at Warner Brothers wanted to get the movie released in November so they could get their bonuses, as opposed to pushing the film back, letting it have a longer running time to maybe flesh out the characters and also result in a much more solid end product. And even if for some reason Warner Brothers were going to finish Zack Snyder's assembly cut, because it wasn't finished, Zack Snyder's cut, which is why I thought it was a kind of ridiculous request asking for it on the DVD and Blu-ray in the first place. But even if they did, they would have to spend tens of millions of dollars in order to finish the special effects, in order to re-edit that Zack Snyder cut, and there was no way that Warner Brothers were going to do that even before the movie was projected to lose Warner Brothers $50 to $100 million because of its underperformance and its massively inflated budget. We're talking about a scenario in which Justice League, a year ago, a film which we which we thought would have no problem crossing $1 billion at the box office, didn't even crack $95 million in its opening weekend, and has been outgrossed by, of all films, friggin' Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle. Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle has made, to date worldwide, $680 million, whereas Justice League has made $655 million, and that Jumanji number is actually going to keep on going up. It is doing quite well at the box office. It may even pass 700 million. Now, I'm not here to argue whether or not Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle is a better movie than Justice League, but Jumanji cost a third of the production budget and is outgrossing Justice League. This is a really massive hit for Sony, and this is a massive underperformance for Warner Brothers. And seeing films like It, or Spider-Man Homecoming and Wonder Woman outgross Justice League domestically, and also in the UK, films like Paddington 2, Despicable Me 3, Dunkirk, and also Jumanji once again, and Fate of the Furious, and La La Land, and The Boss Baby, and Kingsman: The Golden Circle, Murder on the Orient Express, and Logan, and Pirates of the Caribbean 5, and Blade Runner 2049, all of those films outgrossed Justice League in the UK. It made absolutely zero financial sense for Warner Brothers to take Zack Snyder's table scraps, try and assemble a meal out of it, because the financial responsibility would have been poorly thought out. Now, there is, of course, the option that Warner Brothers could eventually double dip. Maybe if Justice League does incredibly well in terms of a home media and digital release, that they'll think maybe there is a market here, but the home media release is an ever-dwindling market, and I really don't think that Warner Brothers will do such a thing. Honestly, the closest thing I think we'll get to a Zack Snyder Ultimate Cut is maybe in 30 or 40 years' time, when all the filmmakers and actors have retired, and they're going to be telling stories about what the original cut was, and maybe John Schnepp will come out of retirement to talk about the death of Justice League, Zack Snyder's cut, what happened. So what do you folks think? Do you still want to see a Zack Snyder cut? Are you going to be buying Justice League on DVD or Blu-ray? Are you interested about the deleted scene? Let me know in the comments section below, and I shall see you folks next time. Now, I know what you folks are thinking. Trilby, who are these awesome names who are scrolling by like in these sort of credits? Well, these folks are my patrons, yes, including Mad as a French Hatter. That was an actual name I was given. These folks are my patrons. They helped keep the lights on my Patreon. They also get early download codes for my podcast. They also get early access to my in-depth reviews and my top 10s and some of my videos. And they also get their names in the credits. If you'd like to get your name in the credits and become a patron, please see the Patreon link in the description below. Your patronage is always appreciated.